Hey, hello out there, YouTube. It is Sunday, it is Studio Sunday, and today I'm going to review the Behringer MS-1, which the Behringer MS-1 actually, it is a clone of the Roland SH-101. Now, I do love the synthesizer, so I'm not going to be all down on it, but at the same time, is there one or two things that I don't like about it that get me upset, okay? That I really wish they had worked really harder when they had made this clone. The funny thing about clones, and if you look up the side effects of clones, that cloning has side effects. That when you clone something, it can result in a compromised immune system, lower function in the internal organs, brain deficiencies, brain damage basically, heart damage, and I would theorize and concur that those flaws have found their way into the cloning of Behringer synthesizers, okay? Now, the cool thing about this Keytar synthesizer is that it is a clone from a 1983. I believe that the Roland SH-101, I believe it's a 1983 analog synthesizer. You've got your oscillators on here. You have your VCF, your VCA. You have your envelope on here. Completely programmable. It's not that hard to use. If you know nothing about sound design, you could pretty much fake it until you find which sound that you really, really like. I use my I use my MS-1 for bass lines, and I could even use it for leads. I was going to go on about how much I want to Moog Liberation, but today it's going to be what I like and dislike about the MS-1. Okay, now I waited a whole year for this thing to come into the mail. I was super excited when it showed up. I believe I got the first generation of this thing, and you can tell that they really rushed the production because there's one or two things on it that are lacking, okay? Now, it is an analog synthesizer. They added in some nice, they made the sequencer a lot better than the SH-1. They have some FM sound editing on here, so you could change some, you can basically add some accents to your analog sound with some FM effects. It's a pretty damn good guitar. Let's see how it sounds. Oh my goodness, pretty nice. Nice, the resonance in it is really thick, it's really heavy, really great for bass lines, but also you could play stuff on the upper end, which would be really good with leads if you're really good at playing guitar leads. Step sequencer so you can record things in real time. FM effects. Ooh, I like that. Now, as you can see, I really love the arpeggiator. I really love how this has MIDI on it. But really upsets me about the MIDI is you could tell this baby was meant to maybe be daisy chained to a whole bunch of other synths. I don't think it was ever meant to be played by a MIDI controller itself. The two things that bug me about this guy is that there's no battery power in it. You have to hook it up to a cable in order to play it, right? And the original Roland SH101, there were batteries in it. They were probably C batteries, they were probably D batteries. They were thick, heavy batteries, but you could walk around all autonomous with this thing. If this was battery powered, all I'd have to do is use a plug-in mic, a radio plug-in mic, and then you could run around stage on this with this guy. Since I can't do that, I use the MIDI in to control this guy off of the rack with one of my Roland synthesizers. So I'm going to show you one thing that really bugs me when it comes to using this with the MIDI controller when it comes to timing. Now, when you use the arpeggiator without a MIDI controller, if you hold it down and you let go, it will stop. Now, if you use a MIDI controller to play this, let's say you want to run around on stage, it keeps playing. It's stuck on hold. And it won't stop playing until you hit the stop arpeggiator on the actual keyboard. Now, in order to do that on the actual synthesizer, you have to hit the arpeggiator and hold, and it will hold the chord for you. Now, it will not stop unless you hit the actual stop button for the arpeggiator. So that's not so bad. You could still use a MIDI controller to play arpeggios, and I do that just so I can edit the sound on an arpeggio. I'll basically play an arpeggio, let it keep running, and then I'll edit the sound as it's playing to the sound that I want to find. Now, when I'm playing like 6 or 7 keytars at once, you'll notice that I'll be playing this and bass sounds will be playing. It's always because with this keytar I am playing the MS-1. Now you can play really thick, heavy basses with the MS-1, but at the same time as you can play high-end licks on top of it. What I really love is how basically I get sounds that sound like old Atari or old Commodore 64 sounds. That's what I use my MS-1 for. And I use it to have a thick, deep-end bass when I'm jamming. Lately, I've been using my Korg Vocas and I've been using my MS-1 to do a basic improvised jam. So let's see how it looks.